It's time for action. It's time for action.
Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel and to what can only be described as my nuclear bunker. I have left the comfort of my office. I built my office, that's still downstairs, still going to use that, but this is where I'm going to be recording a lot of my videos because this is where I can like scream and shout and not bother my girlfriend. Although she's not my girlfriend anymore, she's my fiance. Oh my god, where have you been, Joe? I've been proposing to my girlfriend and she's pregnant, and not just a little bit. Like, in 8 weeks' time, I'm going to be a dad. Jesus Christ! That's right, guys. I've been away. I've been on, like, a Christmas break since probably, like, November now. And I've decided, you know, it's about time to come back. I'm a bit more settled in my new life with my fiancée, who is heavily pregnant. So, yeah, we've just been preparing for that, which is why I've not really been making too many videos, just sort of focusing on, you know, life. Doing all that. I'm 30 on Friday, and I've got a fiance and a baby on the way. I'm just checking off the tick list of life, aren't I? So, yeah, I built this little studio just so that I could come up here and shout, and when the baby's here and stuff, I have a quiet space to just retreat to and make videos. I'm already preparing where I'm going to retreat to when it's all too much. But yeah, I thought, you know, make a little den. So this is in my loft. I've sort of soundproofed it a little bit. I'll try and tart it up a little bit. I realise it does look a bit sort of apocalyptic bunker. I've got bloody cushions stapled to the wall and whatnot. But talking of nuclear bunkers, that leads me neatly to our video today, whereby I will be looking at some BBC archive footage. Now, I was on a YouTube tangent the other day. I was looking at World War I and World War II documentaries. That then led me on to some Cockney documentaries where I was looking at the old Cockneys eating pie and mash and stuff like that. But then what I found is this video from 1966, a Tomorrow's World video, whereby they asked some, well, some frightfully posh young children what they thought, you know, the world of 2000 would be like. The year 2000, what do you suppose would happen in the year 2000? And I loved this and some of the answers, so I thought I'd share it with you and have a little watch through with you. So this is our first young man. So young man, let's just call you William. So William, what do you suppose you'll be up to in the year 2000? Let's take a look.
Well, in the year 2000, I think I'll probably be the spaceship to the moon dictating robots to robots, or else I may be, I don't know, in charge of a robot court judging some robots, or I may be at the funeral of a computer, or if something's gone wrong with their nuclear bombs, I may be sort of coming back from hunting in a cave. Bless him.
I mean, his worlds are either one or the other, isn't it? I suppose that you know, I'll be maybe in a spaceship on the way to the moon, talking to robots, you know, dictating to robots, and, you know, in a robot court, judging over robots, or maybe at a robot funeral for a computer. Or, failing all that, I suppose, coming back hunting, living in a cave. Jesus! Just complete one or the other. I mean, it's all going to be robots and technology, or we're going to go straight back to being a caveman, I suppose. So let's take a look at our next one. Now, this young lady, I mean, let's just, you know, what? Imagine anything, you know, it's the year 2000. Imagine how technologically advanced it'll be. You know, it could be a frightfully scary place, you know. But what are you most scared of in the year 2000?
I don't like the idea of sort of getting up and finding you've got a cabbage pill to eat for breakfast or something.
Bless her. I mean, you can think of, I mean, your mind would go, what, you're going to notice a bit of a theme throughout this. Most of these young kids seem to be pretty convinced of, like, nuclear war or the atomic bomb or the uprising of the robots. No, I really don't like the idea of waking up and having to take a cabbage pill. Who's implied that? Who's told you that that is going to be the future? So up next we've got the kids that have a bit more of a bleak outlook on the future, not just cabbage pills, but the complete annihilation of mankind as we know it.
Oh, I think all these atomic bombs will be dropping around the place. And one will get near the centre, because it will sort of make a huge, great big crater. And then the world will just melt, and the world will become one vast atomic explosion. And it will become like a supernova, stars.
Some madman will get the atomic bomb and just blow the world into oblivion.
There's nothing you can do to stop it. The more people who get bombs, the more somebody's going to use it one day.
Complete annihilation. That's it. Just gone. Like, it's kind of a bleak outlook, but there's sort of like rings of truth to it, you know, where they're saying like nuclear warheads and atomic weaponry falling into the wrong hands. I mean, certainly now with, Trump and his ongoing sort of Twitter battles with Kim Jong-un on nuclear war. Like, I've got a button. My button's bigger than yours. Push it then, I dare you. It's like, it's currently at that sort of state where nuclear weaponry is in the hands of complete fucking morons. But, year 2000, complete annihilation. I suspect the world would just, get so much nuclear war. One will get near the centre of the earth, and I suspect it will just melt. Gone. Turn into a supernova, explode. Luckily for us, this next young man is not convinced of a nuclear war, has a sort of whole other outlook that again, he's onto something. This is 1966. This kid, he's a clued up young man. So young man, tell us, what do you see for the future, the year 2000?
I don't think there is going to be atomic warfare, but I think that there is going to be all this automation. People are going to be out of work and a great population. And I think something has to be done about it. If I wasn't a biologist, that's what I'd like to do something about the population problem. Try and sort of temper it somehow. I don't know how.
Who is that kid? Jesus! I mean, they're all frightfully well spoken, aren't they? I mean, they're all clearly young children, but I mean, he's on some other level there. I mean, he's talking about overpopulation problems in the year 2000, and I mean, he hit the nail on the head, didn't he? It's clearly, we hear about it a lot. The world is sort of, the population's out of control. But I mean, what a thing to come out of a young man's mouth. You'd never hear that these days, would you? I mean, I would love to help the population problem, but unfortunately, I'm a biologist. So, I'm a biologist! Mate! Kids these days are worried about collecting fucking Pokemon and fidget spinners. And they say, oh no, I'm a biologist. Oh, I mean, obviously I'd love to help with the population problem, but, possibly work on a way to temper the problem. I don't know how, but, if I put my mind to it, I'm sure I could. But like I said, I'm a biologist, so not really my field. It's like fucking crazy. These kids are on a next level shit.
Animals as they have here, sheep and cows and livestock, but they'll be kept in batteries. They won't be allowed to graze on pastures. They'll be kept in buildings all together, all in one big building and artificially reared, so they'll yield a larger, be bigger and give more food.
I mean, he was spot on. That is exactly what happened. I'd say before the year 2000, we moved into battery farming of chickens and livestock and genetically rearing and modifying our food. So, pretty spot on from that young man, albeit again a sort of a bleaker outlook on life. None of these kids, not one of them, had anything good to say about the future. It was all quite bleak. I'm going to finish up with this one other young man who, again, I feel was onto something, went way too far with it, but, listen to him. He generally sounds like he knows what he's talking about, and it's not too far from the truth, is it?
All the Sputniks and everything that are going up sort of interferes with the weather, and I think the sea may rise and will sort of cover some of England, and there'll be just islands left from only the Highlands in Scotland and some of the big hills in England and Wales. I don't think or England to be wiped out because some of it will be too high. I think the sea will rise to about 300 to 600 feet.
Again, like, way too bleak with, like, the complete annihilation. Not complete, just the highlands of England and the hills of England left. But, you know, kind of, again, elements of truth with the whole global warming thing and the rising sea levels. It was... kids of 1966 were thinking about that kind of stuff, and he mentioned all the Sputniks going up into the air. He was talking about, like, the rockets and stuff like that. But certainly we've got more aircraft in the air and stuff, and, you know, that's contributed to global warming and, you know, the rising sea levels. I just think, for them, everything was so about to happen, wasn't it? The world was on the cusp of fucking annihilation any which way. So, you know, generally speaking now, we're sort of looking out for our future generations. We're talking a few hundred years time when, you know, sea levels get to such an extent that it eradicates England. I think we're a long way away from that, but you know, he wasn't far wrong from what he was saying there, was he? So I'm going to leave it there today. That was the BBC archive footage from Tomorrow's World, where the kids from 1966 discuss the year 2000 and their thoughts and feelings of what was to come in future years. Luckily, we are all still here. I am in my nuclear bunker, but we are, I say, far from a threat of nuclear war. I don't think it'll happen. It hasn't happened yet. We've sort of surpassed what these kids thought by 18 years, so fingers crossed, guys. We're doing good. But if you liked the video, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. But that is it from me today. Lots of love. Peace out, and see you soon. I don't know what that is. I can't fucking sign off. You know what? Just see ya.
It's time for action. It's time for